Hi, everyone. It's Janelle Evans, and welcome to Leadership Minds and Matters Wednesday night Facebook Live. I'm so glad you're here. And if you would just drop your name in the chat box, let me know who's watching. That way I'll know who's on and also where you're from. This is all about building a community, and it's just fun to kind of see where everybody's from. We have people all over the United States as part of our group, which just reached 400, thanks to several of you who have been reaching out to your friends to join our group. So I want to say thank you. So in this forum, we talk about things from mindfulness, meditation, emotional intelligence, and leadership, all things that benefit you as a person, whether you're a leader of a company, of a team, a group, a community group, or the leader of your household. What we talk about here will benefit you at work and at home. Hey, Hala, I'm so glad that you're joining us from Nolensville, and David from Brentwood. So thanks, guys. Appreciate you cooperating and putting your name and where you're from there in the chat box. And if anyone has specific questions about tonight's topic, please make a note, and we'll have time at the end to cover any questions that you might have. And speaking of that, tonight's topic is mindfulness, a simple tool to shift the Sunday night blues or ease depression. And I want to ask you, does anyone watching this know that October is actually National Depression Awareness Month? I actually did a talk about this a year ago, almost on the same date. And that's why I wanted to bring this topic to the attention of our group tonight, because it is so important. And also, you know, it's sad that we have 1 out of 5 Americans now, over 16 million adults, who really live with the reality of a medical condition like, you know, depression. And, you know, my goal tonight is just, you know, really to share some information and hope that if anyone listening to this is struggling, that they will reach out and get help, and also to share about the role of mindfulness in everything from just having a low mood to, you know, maybe being on the verge of really becoming depressed. And so that's what I want to be helpful with tonight. Hi, Tina from Kansas. Thanks so much for joining. And you know what? It's normal for all of us to feel low sometimes. It's absolutely normal. And without having those feelings, we don't even have an appreciation for the more positive feelings, where's where we want to be most of our time. But in normal life, we are going to have that, you know, feeling sometimes of being less positive. So, you know, and it might just be that we're disappointed in something, and it's a very temporary situation. Or it could be we've had a loss in our life, or we wanted to get a particular job or relationship, and that didn't happen. And so we're struggling with sort of grieving those experiences that didn't happen for us. All of that is just normal life, right? So the goal of our session tonight is really to just increase your awareness that mindfulness can really be a tool for you to help make those times feel less low energy, you know, and to shorten those bouts of feeling negative for yourself, and also to make you aware of what you are feeling. And if, you know, you or someone you know has been struggling with feeling very negative for like 2 weeks or more, then I have some guidelines for you that I will be reviewing tonight. And again, I am not a therapist, I am not a psychologist, I am not a psychiatrist. I am a certified mindfulness and meditation instructor, and I'm also certified in emotional intelligence, which is some of what we'll be talking about tonight. So mindfulness, let's start with what that is all about, right? So mindfulness is about being fully engaged in the moment of our life without judging it. And I see Debbie has joined us from Wilmington. Hi, Debbie. So just being present, you know, taking time for yourself, and just being wherever you are, paying attention to what's going on for you mentally, physically, and emotionally, and just kind of going with that, and just sort of stepping back without judging that, or, you know, beating yourself up or whatever it is that you're feeling, right? Mindfulness helps us understand our emotions so much better than not having mindfulness in our life. And, it helps us understand and discern what really is happening and what is it that we might be making up a story about and driving ourselves kind of unnecessarily crazy, right? And also having those knee-jerk reactions to things. Mindfulness really decreases our sort of knee-jerk response to things as well. It's just being present in your life, thinking about right now, being in this group and what you're experiencing, not what you're going to do after we finish tonight, and not what you did 5 minutes before you joined the group. That's mindfulness, is being in the moment of your life. And mindfulness can help us be more in tune with all of our feelings, negative to positive, right? And so that when we are having those lower moods, those blue moods, I call them, we can better manage them and sort of talk back to those emotions and just, say, wait a minute, what's really going on here? And that lessens the disempowering effect that they have on us. They don't control us, right? And here's the thing, guys, we talk a lot here about meditation. A daily meditation practice supercharges your ability to be mindful, to be present, to really feel whatever it is that you're feeling, and to be able to step back and sort of assess, is this what I want to continue feeling? Or is this just a story that I'm telling myself and I can actually stop it right now, right? So, but here's the thing. If your sadness continues for, let's say, 2 weeks or more, and you haven't been able to sleep or eat or just focus on things, you could be experiencing the early stages of a depression. And I'm going to talk more about what some of those symptoms are a little bit later. So, but how does mindfulness have anything to do with, easing depression, right? Because when you meditate, which again supercharges your ability to be mindful, it causes you to sit with your feelings. And what I mean by that is just to feel what you're feeling. Let's just say it's a negative feeling. And then just to kind of step out of it and assess, is there any real meaning to it? And again, is this just something I'm making up? And it kind of gives you insights as to why you're feeling the way you're feeling. And, I know I can speak in American culture. It's you have to be pretty disciplined to just sort of stop and pause and say, well, why am I feeling the way I'm feeling? But mindfulness can help you do that so much more easily. And just doing that can kind of unlock what's really going on for you. Why am I feeling down? Instead of just wallowing in it, trying to peel it back and understand why is it, and that stop that ruminating, that negative loop over and over, sort of interrupting and going, wait a minute, what's really going on? And I don't know if any of you've done that before. I know I've done that, and I practice that because I meditate every day. So I know that I have the ability to say, whoa, wait, what is going on? Why am I feeling irritable? Why am I feeling sad? And to kind of just stop and pause and try to understand what's behind the feeling, sort of pull the curtain back behind the feeling, right? That's what we're really talking about. And emotions are not permanent. Right? They are like weather patterns. They will move eventually. So, and unless we are really deeply, deeply depressed, they will move. And so they're not permanent. So you just kind of wait it out, and they evolve and change over time. Now, for clinical depression, where a person feels overwhelmingly negative for, like we said, 2 weeks or longer, and is really impaired to function and has a lot of anxiety, maybe working with a therapist, there is a therapeutic approach that I just want to mention tonight. It's known as the mindfulness-based cognitive therapy, and the short acronym for that is the MBCT. Hey, Susie, thanks for joining. And that's an 8-week mindfulness-based program that really draws on cognitive behavioral therapy, which is the gold standard for treating depression. So combining mindfulness with that can really help give people relief from depression and anxiety. And I have a couple of quotes here from Daniel Goleman, and maybe a lot of you know who Daniel Goleman is. He's the really lead expert 20 years ago, started writing books about emotional intelligence. He is a psychologist and author. He was a New York Times journalist, and he's a meditator himself. And he had shared almost a year ago on mindful.org, which is a great resource, mindful.org, about all things around mindfulness. He shared how combining mindfulness with psychotherapy is being used to treat depression, which is what I'm sharing with you. And I just want to read his quote to you. He says, meditation generally makes people feel more positive and helps diminish anxiety. But it becomes particularly powerful when it's combined with psychotherapy. Again, particularly if you are a person who is suffering from depression. The combination of mindfulness and cognitive therapy is what makes MBCT, the 8-week program, so potent. Goleman says, as mindfulness helps you notice your feelings and cognitive therapy helps you work through them, right? So talk therapy, cognitive therapy, the combination is really, really powerful. You can develop a habit of not letting those thoughts take you over by countering them with actual evidence from your life that says, hey, they're not true. I don't have to believe these feelings. And that's very relieving. It goes on to say, instead of getting sucked into our emotions or our thoughts, which is what happens when we get depressed or anxious, we see those thoughts as just thoughts. And those feelings as just feelings. And that is what disempowers them. And I think that's just really important for us all to understand, whether we're suffering from depression or not, that they're just those thoughts, right? And we have the ability to disempower them. So the key to success with this MBCT program is in how mindfulness can ease depression, to continue to reinforce mindfulness practices after the program concludes. So if anyone listening to this has ever been in an MBCT program, the key there is to continue meditating after the program finishes, which is what I would advocate for anyway, and I'm not a therapist, but that really, really is helpful to becoming healthy again. So mindfulness is, say that again, mindfulness is strength, is helping us understand our thoughts more clearly, to assess if they're fact-based or just stories we're telling ourselves. And I've certainly told myself stories, and maybe some of you out there have as well. We just kind of work ourselves up about something. We're just like, why am I even doing that, right? So, and it just gives us sort of that emotional cushion that we all need so that we don't have to react so quickly to things, right? So over time, when we meditate and become more mindful, we actually become much less triggered by things that might have in the past agitated us or caused us to have loss of emotional control, which is one of the 12 core competencies of being emotionally intelligent. And we all want to have a high EQ. So since I'm not a therapist, I'm not here to give you any kind of advice on clinical depression. However, if you're having just a blue moment, or you're just not feeling the way you want to feel, you just have low energy, you're not sure what's going on, I'm going to offer you a 3-minute exercise here in just a minute that can help you shake it and change your state. Now, this is about a mindfulness approach. For some of you, it might be putting on your favorite music and shaking physically, and that works too. But since we are talking about the role of mindfulness and helping us shift the Sunday night blues or ease depression, I wanted to give you a little exercise that you could use, very, very simple. So if you're listening to this, you can do the exercise as I guide you through it, or you can listen to the replay at another time and just record it on your phone or something. All right. So what I want you to do is just, when you say, you know what, I got to shift my energy. I'm feeling a little sad. I don't know why. And it doesn't make any sense. There's nothing going on. I want to change my state. Here we go. The first thing I want you to do is to sit up straight and close your eyes. And I can't see anybody out there, so you can do this. Close your eyes. And then I just wanted you to take a minute to guide yourself through each of the following little exercises I'm going to share with you. All right. The very first one, after you're sitting comfortably, eyes closed, is just to become aware. Bring your awareness to what's going on inside for you, right? And just ask yourself, what is my experience right now? Why might I be feeling the way I'm feeling right now? What thoughts are going through your head, your mind? What feelings are you feeling? And just acknowledge them. We're not going to give them a grade. Just acknowledge them. And what body sensations are you experiencing right now? And just quickly sort of scan your body to pick up on any sensations or tightness or anything that you're feeling. And then the second thing I want you to do is to focus just on your breath. I want you to redirect your attention to focus on your breath, feeling the sensations of your belly as the breath comes in and as it goes out. You can even fall back in your chair. So just follow the breath all the way in, kind of exaggerate it a little bit to get deeper out of your belly, and then all the way out. You can even exhale through your mouth and just use your breath to sort of anchor yourself into the present moment, right? The breath is highly underrated. It is very powerful. And if your mind wanders at any time, I want you just to come back to the breath. Okay, so it's just deep breathing in and exhaling. Just let it go for about a minute. And then the third thing I want you to do, and I see House Clark has joined us, I want you to expand on that breath and that awareness. Just really bring your whole body into that exercise, your posture, your facial expressions, everything. So if you become more aware of even some discomfort, just sit with that. Just take your awareness there and breathe into that, right? And then breathe out from those sensations, softening and opening from the out breath. So just taking it to another level. Those 3 little steps of becoming aware of what you're thinking and feeling, focusing on your breath, and then expanding your breath and awareness will change your physiology and make you become extremely more mindful of what is going on for you. And it can really change you feeling just kind of down, low energy, to neutral. And then you can do some things to put yourself in a more positive place. Maybe it's playing music, maybe it's getting away from your computer, whatever. But those 3 things can shift your energy, and that's all mindfulness stuff. Super easy. You can do it. Now, this kind of exercise might be all you need to change your state, right? Just become into the moment. Change your energy, change your mood, change your outlook, whatever you want to call it, and shift you to a higher energy and a more positive state. But if that doesn't happen, and if you know that you're struggling emotionally and you haven't been able to sleep or eat or get your mind off things, and you just haven't been able to concentrate or focus for 2 weeks or more, and you're feeling lower and lower and lower, then I want you to take action. And I want you to consider getting help from a mental health professional or contacting the National Alliance of Mental Health hotline. And I'm going to post that information here. And again, I told you I was going to share a couple of symptoms, because maybe for some of you, you are going through something hard and maybe you just need some help right now. And you've never had this experience, and it's okay to get help. That's my main message tonight. Maybe you just need a little mindfulness jolt, or maybe you really need to talk to someone, and that's great. So here's a couple things that you can pay attention to, or maybe you know someone in your life that you're concerned about. So let me share a couple of symptoms of depression that if these things go on for 2 weeks or longer, I really am asking you to take them seriously and to reach out to a counselor, a therapist, or to contact the National Alliance of Mental Health. And here they are. If you experience a loss of interest in activities that you once found really pleasant, and maybe you were even passionate about, you just lose interest in things. If you really are feeling very, very sad and hopeless for 2 weeks or more, and you can't shake it. do this exercise and nothing happens. Or if you have a change in your appetite, or you're losing weight or gaining weight and you haven't, changed anything drastically, that's also a symptom. If you're having real sleep disturbances, you can't get to sleep, you can't stay asleep, you're waking up all night, night after night, 2 weeks or more. If you're feeling lethargic, that's also a symptom. If you feel restlessness or irritability that just doesn't feel normal to you, like, maybe you get irritable, something and it goes on, but this just stays longer, that's a symptom. And of course, if you are having any kind of suicidal thoughts or behaviors, that's something to really pay attention to. So those are just some of the symptoms of depression if you're having those symptoms for 2 weeks or longer. And there are resources out there that can help you. You can also private message me right here on Facebook. And if I can help you, direct you to a resource or talk to you in any way, be helpful, I'm here for you. So you can just do that. So after the post tonight, I will list it's called NAMI helpline number. And they also have a text number. So if you're listening to this and if you or someone needs help, please take advantage of this information. October is National Depression Awareness Month. And every October, I'm going to bring this up because I think in our culture here in America, we need to talk more about this. We need to destigmatize everything about mental illness. Just like we have physical illnesses, we have mental illness. And for some of us, these are temporary things and we need help. Just like if we have a broken bone or we have something going on physically for us. Okay, so again, I just want to encourage you to take action if that's what feels right to you. Or if you're not feeling that you're depressed, then maybe just doing some of those little exercises that I share with you will help shake off just feeling a little less than your positive self. So I want to take time to see if there are any questions from anyone here about anything that I've covered about the role of mindfulness and just shifting a low energy mood to easing depression as being part of a therapeutic program, which that's another reason I'm so interested in this, because I know that it does have a role in helping people make these important changes and shifts in their mental health. So if you have any questions, please post them in the chat and I will be happy to answer them. And if there's anything that a therapist might need to know, I can get back to you after talking to one. So I hope this has been helpful. That's really my intention. I just feel it's very important to bring this conversation forward. And that was really my goal tonight. So thanks to everyone who showed up. Jason, Susie, Debbie, Tina, David, Hala. I don't see all of the names here. Gosh, I hope I'm not leaving anyone out, but I'm certainly calling you out if I see your name. So great that you showed up tonight. And this replay will be up. Since it's a private Facebook group, you were not able to like share from the group. And that's another reason that if you know someone that you think would benefit from the things that we talk about here, please invite them to join our group. You just send them to the link, and I've posted about that here on the page. And David is posting that psychologytoday.com has resources to find therapists. David, thank you for mentioning that. David is a contributor to psychologytoday.com. I have also contributed articles, but he has done it even more regularly, and it is a great resource that is available to you, particularly to find a therapist in your hometown. I think they actually list a lot of people that are on their particular website. So that was another great resource, so thank you. So I hope this has been helpful. Again, maybe you know someone, you can reach out to them and share this with them or have them join the group so they can have access to this video. That would be great. So if there are no questions, we'll go ahead and conclude tonight. I hope to see you next week. Next Wednesday, I think we'll be on. And thanks to everyone. Thank you, Tina. Yeah, the struggle is real for thousands. And Tina, I know you work with people who do struggle with depression. So If there's anything here you want to add, please feel free to do it. But thank you so much for being here and for all the work that you do in helping people. This is a very real condition, and it's one not to be ignored. So, I hope everyone is meditating. And if you have any questions about that, you can also private message me here. Anything that I covered tonight you want to talk about, private message me or post a question here. I'm happy to circle back and continue the conversation. So thanks, guys. Appreciate you showing up tonight. Take care.